food lovers! Today I'm excited to share a delicious recipe for Ukrainian crepes called nalysnyky, along with my best tips to make them perfect every time. We are celebrating Maslenitsa, a Slavic holiday marking the last week before Great Lent in the Orthodox tradition. My mom always made nalysnyky during this time, filling our home with warmth and the aroma of freshly made crepes. Now I can't wait to pass down her recipe so you can enjoy this beautiful tradition at your home. One of the key secrets is using ingredients at room temperature and warm milk. I am making a batch that will yield 15 nalysnyky with a diameter of 11 inches. However, I will also provide the proportion for half of the batch in the description. So, let's get started. In a bowl, mix together 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3 room temperature eggs, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Stir until combined. Add 270 grams sifted flour to the bowl and mix. Then add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and stir it in. Warm the milk slightly before adding it to the mixture. Pour in a little milk and whisk. Then pour in more, mixing thoroughly. At this stage, we need to knead the butter until it's smooth and free of lumps. Look at how silky it's become. Next, pour in the remaining milk and mix with a whisk. Let the butter sit for about 10 minutes to rest. Then add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I use avocado oil and mix until fully combined. For making these crepes, I will be using a 28 cm non-stick crepe pan. It's my favorite, but you can use any size non-stick pan. I will link all these crepe tools in the description. Heat the pan and add a little vegetable oil, spreading it evenly. I usually heat the pan over medium heat. Avoid high heat as the butter will set too quickly. Once the pan is properly heated, pour in the butter. I'll be using 1/2 of butter for an 11-inch pan, but you can also use a ladle instead of a measuring cup. Now lift your pan and start pouring the butter from one edge to the other. Once the butter has spread from edge to edge, quickly move the pan in circular motions to evenly distribute the butter. If you see small holes, just shake the pan gently until the butter sets. And if some holes remain, simply add a little extra butter to fill them in. Once the edges turn a beautiful golden color, the crepe has caramelized evenly. For flipping crepes, I use a thin spatula. A thick one can tear them. I like to run a spatula around the edges of the crepe first. It makes flipping much easier. Then I slide the spatula under the center of the crepe, flip it over, and cook the other side for about 15–30 seconds. This will depend how hot your pan is. You can always lift the crepe with a spatula to check if it's ready. Once the crepe is ready, transfer it to a plate and cover it with a lid that is larger in diameter than the crepe. This helps trap the steam, making the crepe softer and preventing the edges from drying out. As it rests under the lid, it becomes even more tender and flexible, making it easier to roll or fold later. We repeat this process for each crepe, stacking them on the plate and keeping them covered. This way, every crepe stays soft, warm, and ready to be filled or served just the way you like. The first crepe often doesn't turn out perfect, and sometimes even the second one, until we find the right temperature for the pan. But once you start making them one after another, you will get the hang of it, and everything will turn out perfectly. These crepes are soft, tender, and delicate with a smooth texture. They are light and airy with the soft edges that melt in your mouth, making them absolutely irresistible. These crepes can be filled with a variety of delicious fillings, such as meat, jam, condensed milk, and much more. If you have any crepes left after your meal, just cover them with a plastic wrap to prevent them from drying out and store them in the refrigerator. They will stay fresh and ready to enjoy later.